My beloved child, the changes taking place within your body are not necessarily signs that you are becoming weaker. They may be reminders that you are passing through a season that requires deeper listening, care, and adjustment. I know that recently you have sensed unusual things. At times your strength seems to leave you very quickly. At times emotions rise unexpectedly without any clear reason. And there are days when all you want is to withdraw into silence. Yet there are also moments when a fresh surge of vitality suddenly awakens within you, making you want to change everything. Do not rush into fear because of these movements, and do not hastily assign them a single meaning. Be still, because I am teaching you to recognize your own inner voice. Respect necessary limits, and enter a healthier rhythm of life. Some things can only be healed when you stop forcing yourself to remain strong at all times. And some doors open only when you are willing to admit that you need rest. For a long time, you have carried too much without putting it into words. You kept your worries hidden so that others would not be troubled, concealed your exhaustion behind a smile, and continued moving forward even when everything within you longed to stop. You believed that being strong meant never allowing yourself to slow down. But I want to correct that belief within you. True strength is not found in enduring until you are completely depleted, but in recognizing when it is time to continue and when it is time to return and care for yourself. Therefore, when your body sends you unfamiliar signals, receive them with wisdom. Sleep enough. Eat regularly. Move gently. And seek professional help when the symptoms concern you or continue for a prolonged period. I do not want you to neglect practical needs simply because you are searching for a spiritual meaning. Proper care is also one of the ways you honor the gift of life that has been placed into your hands. What I am doing is not turning you into a stranger to yourself, but helping you return more closely to the pure nature that was once hidden beneath fear, pressure, and years spent trying to please everyone. You prayed for renewal, but perhaps you imagined that renewal would arrive only as immediate joy. You did not expect that before dawn appears. Your eyes must learn to turn away from darkness before a new rhythm can be established. Old habits must first be recognized and released. That is why you may find that you are no longer interested in things that once fascinated you, no longer willing to enter conversations that drain you, and no longer able to remain in places that require you to make yourself smaller. Do not quickly conclude that you are losing everything. You may simply be outgrowing things that have already fulfilled their purpose along your journey. This change can sometimes cause your emotions to become deeper. An old memory may suddenly return. A small remark may bring tears to your eyes, or someone's silence may awaken a wound you once tried to forget. I am not bringing these things back to torment you, but so that you can look at them with more mature eyes. What has been buried has not necessarily been healed. Often, it is only waiting for a space safe enough to be named honestly. Therefore, do not be ashamed when you need to cry. Do not condemn yourself on days when you cannot accomplish as much as you hoped. Tears do not make you small, and exhaustion does not take away your worth. You are still worthy of love on radiant days and on days when you have only enough strength to complete the bare minimum. I do not measure you by productivity, achievement, or your ability to satisfy others. I see your quiet effort, and I know how far you have come. However, remember that not every unusual sensation should be treated as a mystical sign. Discernment always walks together with responsibility. When your body is in pain, you need to listen. When your mind is overloaded, you need to reduce the pressure. When emotional distress continues long enough to disrupt your daily life, you need to open your heart to someone trustworthy or seek appropriate support. Genuine faith does not tell you to deny reality. It helps you face reality with courage and peace. I do not ask you to ignore symptoms that should be examined, nor do I want you to force yourself to suffer in silence. You have the right to receive help, carry, and rest without believing that you have failed. Sometimes a miracle begins with a very simple decision. You stop postponing the care you need. During this process, your energy may change from day to day. Do not become impatient with yourself because of this. A young tree does not grow by being pulled upward from the soil. It grows through steady watering, light, and sufficient time. The same is true for you. You do not need to transform overnight in order to prove that you are ready for the future. Give yourself permission to move forward through small steps. Waking at a healthy hour, preparing a nourishing meal, having an honest conversation, or spending an hour away from things that create tension within you. These simple actions are rebuilding your inner foundation. Do not despise quiet progress. Stability is usually formed through small choices repeated with love, not through dramatic decisions made in a moment of emotion. You will also notice that as your inner world changes, the relationships around you begin to appear in a different light. You will recognize which places bring peace and which ones cause you to continually question your value. You will learn to say no without guilt, to leave an argument before words become wounds, and to maintain distance from those who come near only when they need something. This does not mean that you are becoming cold. It means you are learning how to love without abandoning yourself. An open heart does not mean that everyone has the right to enter every room of your life. Gentleness still requires boundaries. Compassion still requires discernment. And genuine love never demands that you repeatedly wound yourself in order to keep someone else from leaving. I know you have prayed for a breakthrough, a new beginning, and a sense of relief after months of heaviness. But newness does not come only when outward circumstances change. It begins when you change the way you treat yourself. When you stop calling exhaustion devotion, stop calling silent suffering kindness, and stop calling self-neglect sacrifice, you have already passed through an important doorway. From that point forward, you will no longer return so easily to your former patterns. You will understand that peace is not a reward you must fight to earn, but an environment you must protect in order to live according to the goodness I have planted within you. Therefore, my beloved child, do not panic when you realize that you are no longer the same as before. Some changes are signs that you are learning to live more honestly, slowly, and deeply. Continue listening to your body, observing your emotions, and caring for your spiritual life with awareness. Do not follow messages that make you fear you will lose a blessing unless you act immediately. What is truly meant for you does not need to threaten or pressure you into taking hold of it. My guidance brings clarity rather than greater panic. You do not need to prove your faith through a phrase, comment, or any outward ritual. What I desire from you is sincerity, patience, and the choice to walk wisely each day. Be steadfast, because you are not losing yourself. You are gradually removing what once forced you to live against your own good nature. I am teaching you to become someone who can love without becoming depleted. Give without emptying yourself completely, and move forward while still respecting the need for rest. What confuses you today will become clear when you look back. You will understand that some slow days were not delays, but preparation, that some tears were not collapse, but release, and that some periods of silence were not emptiness, but places where new strength was quietly being nourished. I am still here, gently walking beside you through every change, until you realize that the person you are becoming is not unfamiliar at all. It is simply who you are when fear no longer controls you. My beloved child, in a world that continually glorifies loud voices and hurried steps, you have learned to listen for guidance within silence. And this is protecting you from many wrong decisions. Some people observe your stillness and assume that you are weak, indecisive, or too afraid to defend yourself. But I see clearly what is happening within your heart. I know you are not silent because of fear, but because you are trying to discern which words need to be spoken, what should be released, and which battles are no longer worthy of your peace. The world around you constantly urges you to move faster. Answer immediately. Prove your value, and make others notice you. But I have not called you to live in that haste. I do not want you to turn every misunderstanding into an argument, every insult into a confrontation, or every rejection into a reason to doubt your dignity. There are times when the greatest strength is not found in moving forward, but in remaining still until your heart becomes clear. I have seen the days when you were exhausted from reacting to everything. A careless remark could cause you to think for hours. An unanswered message could make you search desperately for an explanation. A cold attitude could cause you to wonder what you had done wrong. You once believed that if you did not speak immediately, others would assume you were easy to disregard. Because of this, there were times when you explained yourself for too long, tried to make someone understand who had no desire to understand, and attempted to carry truth into a place that had already closed itself. Afterward, you did not feel relieved. You only felt more depleted. This happened because you used precious strength trying to control the way others perceived you. Today, I want you to set down that burden. You are not responsible for correcting every false opinion, and you do not need to chase after everyone to prove that you are not what they assume. The truth does not become smaller because someone refuses to acknowledge it, and your value does not decrease because another person lacks the depth to recognize it. There is a great difference between being unable to move forward and being held back by me from entering a path before the right time. When you are trapped, your mind feels heavy, your direction becomes unclear, and every effort leaves you exhausted. But when you are being restrained, even if you do not fully understand why, there remains a gentle inner prompting telling you not to act yet. Sometimes you have written many words and then quietly deleted them. You imagined what you would say when facing the person who hurt you, prepared every argument so that they could not deny the truth. Yet at the final moment, you did not send the message. Do not rush to condemn yourself for this. Not every pause is a sign of cowardice. There were moments when I placed that restraint within you because acting while your emotions were still burning would have complicated what I was quietly arranging. Some doors need to close in peace, not through one final argument. I understand why you once doubted your silence. You feared that if you did not speak, others would never recognize their wrongdoing. You feared that your restraint would be mistaken for acceptance and that your compassion would give someone permission to keep crossing your boundaries. But my beloved, discerning silence is not the same as tolerating what is wrong. I am not teaching you to endure everything without hope, nor am I telling you to let others harm you freely. There are moments when you need to state a boundary clearly, leave a disrespectful place, or refuse what is wearing you down. Yet, the right words carry power only when they are born from calmness, not from anger that desires revenge. Before you speak, ask whether your words are protecting truth or merely trying to make the other person hurt as you once hurt. When your heart no longer longs to win, but only desires to preserve what is right, you will know that you are ready to speak. There are also conversations you no longer need to have, because the other person's repeated behavior has already given you a complete answer. You do not need another explanation from someone who continually leaves you confused. Another promise from someone who never changes through action, or another conversation with someone who listens only to find a way to argue against you. I know you want everything to end clearly. You want an admission, a sincere apology, or an explanation strong enough to soften your pain. But closure does not always come from another person's mouth. Sometimes it comes when you decide to stop waiting for them to become someone they are not willing to become. Your peace will grow when you stop placing the key to your healing into the hands of the one who wounded you. I can lead you forward even when you do not receive the answer you once hoped for. Remember that waiting in me is not empty time. During the days when you think you are making no progress, I am teaching you to recognize motives, adjust your perspective, and strengthen boundaries that were once too fragile. I am helping you distinguish between peaceful intuition and fear that makes you withdraw, between patience and the habit of procrastination, between kindness and abandoning yourself. These lessons are quiet, but they will protect you for many years. When you know how to pause at the right time, you will no longer be drawn so easily into provocation. When you learn to wait until your heart becomes calm, you will avoid decisions that could take a long time to repair. When you understand that not every door needs to be knocked upon again, you will preserve your strength for places that truly welcome you. Do not compare your pace with those who appear to be rushing ahead. Some people move very quickly without knowing where they are going. Some shine brightly before a crowd, yet return home empty because they have lived too long depending upon outside approval. You do not need to become a loud noise in order to prove that you exist. Trees grow in silence. Dawn arrives without arguing with darkness. And what is lasting is often formed where no one can see it. Therefore, do not be ashamed when your journey includes pauses. Do not think you have been left behind simply because I have not yet allowed you to move forward. Sometimes slowing down is protection. Sometimes the door remains closed because you are being prepared to pass through without losing yourself. What I am building within you is not meant to impress others for a moment, but to make you steady through seasons of change. From today onward, whenever you feel the urge to respond immediately, give yourself a moment of silence. When your heart burns because of someone's words, do not allow pain to take control of your voice. When someone tries to pull you into their chaos, remember that you are not required to enter simply to prove that you are strong. Some victories come when you turn away from what is useless. Some answers are expressed most clearly when you stop participating in an old cycle. Some people recognize that they have lost something precious only when you stop trying to persuade them to value you. I do not want your heart to become cold, but I do want it to become wise. You can still love, without returning to the place that depleted you. You can forgive without restoring access. You can pray for someone's well-being without continuing to carry their responsibilities. Therefore, my child, trust the gentle guidance that is teaching you when to speak and when to remain silent. Do not call your calmness weakness, and do not regard waiting as failure. When you stand still with discernment, you are demonstrating a faith stronger than any impulsive action. I am teaching you not to react from your wounds, not to decide from panic, and not to chase after what has already turned away from you. Allow others to misunderstand you if they choose. Time will reveal what you do not need to argue about. Your part is to keep your heart upright. Walk with dignity and refuse to trade your peace for one brief moment of recognition. I am with you in every silence. And when the right time arrives, I will make you know exactly which step to take, which words to speak, and which door is finally ready to open. My beloved child, many people have missed sacred reminders because they assumed that every sign from heaven must appear amid thunder, lightning, and events that cause the whole world to tremble. But I want you to understand that profound things rarely enter your life through spectacle. They often arrive when your heart suddenly becomes still, through a prompting you cannot explain, through words you happen to hear at the right moment, or through a gentle uneasiness that tells you to stop and examine your direction. The ways of the Most High surpass human expectation. He can hide a warning within something ordinary, place a way of escape in the very place where you thought there was no path, and send an answer through details that a hurried person would easily dismiss. Therefore, the fact that you are reading these words should not be used to feed fear, but to awaken the awareness you have allowed to sleep for too long. I am Michael, and today I am not calling your attention to outward noise, but inviting you to return to the clear voice sounding within your own heart. A shift is taking place, not first on a distant horizon, but in the way you view your life, your relationships, and the choices that have left you weary. The veil between what you have tried to believe and what you truly know is gradually being drawn aside. You will no longer be able to convince yourself so easily that everything is fine when your peace has continually been taken from you. You will no longer be able to call dependence love, delay patience, or fear wisdom. Light is drawing near to help you discern what deserves to remain and what needs to be laid down. This shaking is not intended to destroy your life. It comes to break the coverings that have caused you to live beneath your true worth. Perhaps you are wondering why my words today carry unusual seriousness. There are seasons when a gentle reminder is enough. But there are also moments when you must be awakened from hesitation before old choices lead you once again into the same painful cycle. I have not come to display power, nor have I come to plant the thought that disaster is waiting everywhere. I come as a guardian, standing at the boundary between light and darkness, truth and deception, healing and what quietly wears you down. The most important battle does not always take place where you can see it. It may appear in every thought you accept, every word you allow another person to plant within you, and every door you continue leaving open, even though you already know that peace is not found behind it. That is why I tell you that it is time to gather your belongings and prepare. I am not speaking only about clothing, possessions, or an outward departure. The heaviest baggage you carry may be old insults, disappointments you have refused to release, promises that others never intended to keep, or responsibilities you accepted only because you were afraid of being called selfish. Some things once helped you survive a difficult season, but now they have become ropes around your feet. You cannot walk lightly into a new season while your hands still cling to what has exhausted you. Look carefully at what you are carrying. Does it produce growth? Or does it pull you back into pain? Does it bring greater clarity? Or does it cause you to continually doubt yourself? Does it lead you toward gratitude? Or keep you in a constant state of defense? When a city receives a storm warning, wise people do not stand in the street arguing about whether the siren is loud enough. They calmly close dangerous entrances, bring precious things into safety, and prepare for what may come. You must do the same. Your preparation does not need to take the form of panic. Begin by putting your life into order. Keep your distance from what continually creates chaos. Stop giving authority over your worth to people who remember you only when they need to be served. Spend quiet time recognizing what is truly happening within your heart. Rest when you are too tired. Seek help when the burden exceeds your strength. And do not regard boundaries as a betrayal of love. The shelter of heaven is not found in dramatic declarations, but in sincere obedience to the goodness you have already recognized. You are not protected merely because you repeat a phrase or type a sequence of numbers. A blessing is not a product unlocked through a few characters. And heavenly love does not abandon you because you failed to perform a human-made ritual. What I desire from you is an honest heart, a will that is ready to change direction, and actions that prove you no longer treat your own peace lightly. Speak a commitment if it helps you remain steady, but after speaking, begin to walk. Repair what needs to be repaired. Close what needs to be closed. Forgive what needs to be released. And apologize when you recognize that you have wounded another person. You may then see certain changes appear that you did not expect. Some people will grow distant because you no longer accept the way they treat you. Some plans will be delayed to prevent you from entering a place that is not right for you. Some doors will close and cause temporary sadness. But later, you will understand that they protected you from a path filled with loss. Do not call every loss punishment. Sometimes what is removed from your hands is precisely what prevented you from receiving something better. I know that emptiness can make you uneasy, but do not return to a place that repeatedly made you cry merely because you feel lonely. Give yourself time to become accustomed to quietness, because healthy peace may initially feel unfamiliar to someone who has lived in chaos for too long. In the days ahead, be especially careful about the way you respond to words, news, and unexpected events. Do not allow one moment of anger to destroy what took years to build. Do not let fear cause you to believe every rumor immediately. What comes from light does not force you to act in panic, use threats to control you, or rob you of the ability to think clearly. True guidance may be serious, but it still contains clarity and respect. If a message does nothing but terrify you, make you dependent, or convince you that you will be punished unless you obey immediately, stop and examine it. I do not guide you through coercion. I help you stand upright in wisdom, my beloved child. The bell I am sounding today is an invitation to return to a life of order, boundaries, and awareness. Remove from your heart what has already reached its end. Prepare not for an imagined disaster, but for a more mature version of yourself. Do not continue living as though every day were the same, because each day gives you another opportunity to choose again. You can choose truth instead of self-deception, peace instead of dependence, courage instead of delay, and love without losing yourself. I will remain beside you through every adjustment, never forcing you to run faster than you are able, but also refusing to let you remain asleep in the place that is weakening you. Therefore, rise with calmness. Open your eyes to see what you once tried to avoid. Open your ears to honest counsel, and open your heart to healthy change. You do not need to know the entire road before taking the first step. Enough light will be given for the next step, and then for the one after that. When you choose to live awake, the things that once manipulated you will gradually lose their power. When you know you are worthy of respect, you will stop begging for fragments of affection. And when you place your trust in goodness through both words and actions, you will discover that genuine protection does not make you shrink in fear. It enables you to live with strength, discernment, and peace through every change. A miracle truly begins to open when you choose to leave your former self behind and courageously step into what heaven is preparing for you. You cannot embrace a new door while continually turning back toward the place that once wounded you, exhausted you, and caused you to lose yourself. There are times when delay is no longer caution, but a rope pulling you back toward the days from which I have repeatedly lifted you. Therefore, my words come to you today not to frighten you, but to awaken the decisiveness that has been sleeping within you. You have stood long enough between two paths, trying to hold on to what is familiar while still hoping for a different future. But, my beloved, a new season cannot be built from old habits, and a restored heart cannot continue living under the authority of memories that once broke it. This is the time to choose. Walk toward the light that is calling your name, or return to the cycle from which you asked me to rescue you. I once wanted the sign prepared for you to appear so brightly that you could never misunderstand it. But the wisdom of God has chosen a gentler way. What is coming will not be displayed to satisfy the curiosity of the crowd. It will be recognized by the one who knows how to listen, observe, and value subtle movement. A door that was once closed may not yet be wide open, but you will notice that the lock has been removed. A person who was once distant may begin with a simple word of concern. A great opportunity may be hidden within an invitation that appears ordinary. Do not reject what is small simply because you are expecting something great, because I often place the seed of change within moments that others easily overlook. Therefore, if readiness has already awakened within you, speak it with complete sincerity. I am ready. Do not say it to prove anything to anyone, but as a promise to yourself that the past will no longer be allowed to determine your future. From today onward, walk with watchful eyes, a tender heart, and the courage to receive what is new. I will not allow you to lose your way when you genuinely choose to follow my guidance. The sign may be small, and the path may open little by little, but every obedient step will bring you closer to the peaceful, mature, and steadfast person heaven has seen within you for a very long time.